What's going on, everybody? So it's been a while since I posted on this channel, and it's because I have work and then another job and so many other things popping up at my full-time job, so it was a lot. I did record a video for devlog number 12. I just didn't post it, and I decided to make a new video of it because I want to give you guys my comments on stuff that's been happening the last couple of weeks with Nimble Giant and Star Trek Infinite. So let's dive right into this. Stardate 23954.9. As we are wrapping up this year, we're also capping off the weekly patches. Last week's 1.0.7 patch was our last planned weekly patch for this year. By the way, that's my son. With the patch, we closed off our top-rated bugs and cleared out a huge backlog of minor issues. We're now in discussions on what our future roadmap looks like, what the game needs, and what type of resources we need to hit those goals. We're still in the early stages of this discussion, however, and don't have any information to release at this time. But one thing I wanted to dive a bit more into was a minor point in this week's patch notes. Cerritos and California class ships 3D models were adjusted to follow the lore more closely. This was something we have been working on in the background for a while, and I wanted it as an example of how development works and give everyone a peek behind the scenes. When we initially launched, our approval of the Cerritos has gone a bit fast. We aligned on the ship in early August and had a model up and running for mid to late August. Wow, that's a pretty quick turnaround. Lots of time before the October release night. Problem was we needed everything ready for our game feature and pre-purchase bonus video that went live on September 7th. The date was important to hit as it was supposed to align with the release of Season 4 of Lower Decks and hit the day before Star Trek Day. This was to get into the water before the wave of Trek news hit on the 8th. It was a solid plan until the morning of September 7th when we got a notification that there was a blocker for our video. It could not be released. Major issue, the ship was missing the registry number. That's quite a bit of the scene we had at 43 seconds was supposed to mimic the Lower Decks opening credits with an over the ship arc shot. The camera ends up behind the ship and goes into warp. By the way, I love these art scenes here. I'm assuming this is post Dominion War when they were firing on Lacardian City. I'm assuming. After a few minutes of freaking out and a few calming coffees, we did a call with our trailer team, and we got an alternative shot that loses the iconic shot. This prevents the block we have for missing the registry by doing the art shot underneath the ship instead of over, but now it was not a reproduction of the shot from Lower Decks. A stressful few hours indeed. At this point, we get the registry added and locked the game code for release. Another problem then came along a few days later. Several points on the model were incorrect and needed to be updated. The team had just had code freeze, and we would not be able to do anything until we had day one patch. Launch day comes along, and as you might remember, it was not the smoothest launch. With everything on fire, fixing the Cerritos was not high on our priority list. However, with patch 1.07, we finally got around to implementing the fixes that we needed to be done. But what changed? Let's take a look at the most obvious change. We went from this to this. Okay, definitely do see some differences here. To tell, I think this, right? No, I can see that. Differences are huge, I know, but let's get into the details. It's hard to tell, honestly. Maybe a light, this light. Running lights. On top show, we have now green and red running lights to the right and left of the primary hull. Okay, yeah, I figured. Buzzard ram scoop. Added extra detail on the protection layer. Moved the details on front to the Buzzard ram scoop itself. So, okay, yeah, I definitely see that. They're minor. I wouldn't. Yeah, they're minor. I mean, I'm grateful for the change and for the canon, but I didn't notice that. I guess I take in the whole view. I don't go into like the very small details. Updated deflector dish have in-world accurate color. Okay. Hopefully everyone is happy with the changes made to the Enterprise of support ships. All good things to those who wait. So that was the last devlog. That was in Friday, December 8, 2023. So it was quite quite a while ago. Let's take a look how many weeks ago that was. So December 8th was here, right? That was the last devlog. The 15th, the 22nd. Now, I understand this week is everybody's getting ready for Christmas. Then everybody's pretty much off for this week, except me. My company was still working. But, yeah. This week I could understand this week all the way up to like the 2nd and stuff like that. So I could understand these weeks. But, you know, once it hit here, I figure the 5th there was going to be a new devlog. There was no devlog. So I was like, okay, I guess they're probably taking a longer vacation. And sometime around this week, you know, I kept checking the Discord, and I didn't see any devs on there. No devlog, and I was just wondering. So a couple people let me know, hey, this is normal in the video game industry. They do take weeks off, which is kind of cool. It makes me want to apply and start working there. Yeah, I haven't ran into any companies that give that kind of benefits to the workers. So I figured maybe the 12th, the 19th, somewhere around there, they would post a devlog. So we went through here. And by the way, all this time, I'm on the Discord checking it out. There's no devs on there. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? And somewhere right around this time, I stopped playing Star Trek Infinite. I started playing Star Trek New Horizons, the TNG mod, which, by the way, is incredible. Huge props to the developers there. That mod is freaking incredible. It's just, wow. But I plan to hit Star Trek Infinite once, I guess, a new roadmap comes out. There's been some progress on the mod front. I'll show you a little bits from that. And then, you know, this week goes by, and then now we're all the way up to the 27th, and there's still no devlog. It's been basically over a month at this point. A month and a half at this point. So I was going through the Discord today, and I did find two things posted by one of the devs from part of the Paradox, I believe. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so on January 16th, Matt Holmes posted, I've been silent because of Christmas, but now working on the contract discussion for the next steps of the game. At the moment, contract done, and we need a new one with goals and have this approved by all parts. I don't have any data on for when I can say anything, but got deadlines for my submissions. So from what I'm taking from this is that it looks like they were set for an October release, patches all the way up to the end of the year. And at that point, they would have to renegotiate for any future development, I'm assuming for DLC or more patches. I know they did in November or December a Reddit AMA where they were talking about they needed to get the game into positive reviews on Steam. Last time I checked, it was around the 60s. As well as they needed to get the current game player count up. Last time I checked, it was around 400. The game released with 5,000 players on Steam at any one moment. Obviously, it's, you know, around 400, so it definitely needs to go up, and that's what they were all discussing here. So it looks like they got, at the moment, contract done, and we need a new one with goals and have this approved by all parts. So that's going to take a while, I'm assuming. And then here you have Jellyfly, who says, I get you're still busy with getting a new contract, but I and many others feel like you should give a little more. If you can't say anything definitive, keep it to your opinion or speculative if you have to, but if you don't say anything else before you have a definitive deal or no deal with Paramount, then after you do get a deal to keep working on the game, it will have been too late to save the game's public image and reputation. Not trying to bash you or this game, I really do want to see the game succeed, so I'm just concerned for how the game is perceived. I say this because I care, not because I'm trying to criticize you, developers at Nimble Giant and Paradox. Matt Holmes responds, we'll give you all an update as soon as I know more. But at the moment, it is still waiting for approval. Can you give at least a date? Not sure yet. Might be start of February. So, Still a little bit away. It's probably we're January 27th, so a few weeks away. This is a little concerning, I would say, because from what I'm taking from this is release in October, support until the end of the 2023, and now they're working with Paradox and Paramount to try to see, all right, should we keep investing in this game beyond where it is? I really do hope Paramount and Paradox continue development, give the green light for Nimble Giant to continue development. There's so much potential in this game. From the times that I've played this game, I really, really enjoyed it. I think it needs a lot more content. That's the one thing that I do want from this game. I've played it numerous times. I really enjoyed the numerous times I've played it. But after, the third, fourth, or fifth, whichever time that I started, somewhere around the fourth or fifth, I started getting that feeling like, yeah, this all feels kind of like the same. There's no... I only play the Federation, so I'm sure if I play the Klingons or somebody else, I would change it up a little bit. But I only play the Federation. But it needs more ships, more events, more DLC like the Delta and Gamma Quadrant. So I really hope that Paramount and Paradox give the thumbs up for more development of this game, because this game can be incredible, can just be everything we want it to be. We just need Paramount and Paradox to say, all right, go ahead, Nimble Giant, keep developing it. And I honestly feel deep down inside that they do have plans for a DLC for the Gamma and Delta Quadrants. I do feel like they have plans for that, but I feel like they're working now on getting those approved by Paramount and by Paradox as well. So I'm really hoping that this happens. I'm hoping that they do continue doing devlogs. I have a feeling the reason why they're stopping with the devlogs is because technically production stopped on this game probably in the end of 2023 when from what I see, the contract ended. So that's probably why. Now, the modders have been at work. From what I can show you guys, they have put in some really cool stuff. I'll show you here. They have been working on ships like the Constitution class starship. So the community is hard at work, bringing more and more beautiful ships in there. I believe there's an ambassador class already, and the devs have been working on building an ambassador class. The modders just beat them to it. And then you have here the Romulan frigate here. So yeah, as you can see here, there's another mod in development. There's a lot of fan development behind this game, and I really do hope that that the devs continue development, that this contract goes through, because it will only give the modding community more incentive to make more stuff. But worst case scenario, if they can't get the contract updated, the fans will continue developing this game on their own. A good example is Birth of the Federation. Came out in '99. Development stopped, I think, after the first patch, I believe. So which was very soon, right after the game. And it's 2024, so basically 25 years later, and the game is still being updated. The game is like a night and day difference. They expanded the map, added tons more ships, more effects. I mean, if you compare the original Birth of the Federation at launch to today, it's wow, all done by the fans. And that game was from what I understand, so difficult to mod and understand how the code works. But those fans made it possible. This game is easier to mod. So I can't imagine what this game will look like in 10 to 20 years. It's going to be, even if development stops today, it's going to be a night and day difference based upon what the fans can do. Good example is the new Star Trek New Horizons mod, the TNG error that just came out, which is incredible. This is what the fans are capable of. But I'm going to leave you guys off here. Honestly, I'm really hoping that this new contract goes up, gets approved. I hope we see a Delta Quadrant, a Gamma Quadrant mod DLC, excuse me, and more content from the developers. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Catch you next one. See you then.